well, to figure out the acronym STEM myself, because I'm ignorant to the term. So it's science, technology, engineering, and math.
Yes. So yes, I say STEM so frequently, it doesn't dawn on me to always clarify. So yes, STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. And I actually operate in STEAM. So STEAM is science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. And so that's incorporating the arts. So whether that be physical arts, music, arts, it really helps to increase the learning environment, promote a positive learning environment. So I actually went to South Africa on I don't want to say a whim, but it was kind of like just a random series of events that led to that, my ability to go there and the relationship that has been forged since then. But the State Department has a program called the Embassy Science Fellowship, where they bring scientists to different places around the world, where they have embassies and they have projects that they are supporting in a variety of fields. And so this particular effort that was taking place in South Africa was focused on improving the education system there, and specifically in the science, technology, engineering, and math realm. And the reason that's important, we in the US often take our education system for granted, right? We, a lot of times, even our worst education systems can still sometimes be better than other places, right? And so in the particular region that I was going to, there were a lot of places that, literally the only science they were getting was during a week-long or 2-week-long science festival that was being held in the country. And so for me, I went over there to work on this festival. And so I worked as a logistics officer and program officer, where I was developing curriculum to teach students new and innovative ways to learn science with very limited resources. So I'm talking about using water bottles and using balloons and popsicles as to teach science. And that's because you may not have access to the high-powered instruments or the fancy equipment, but you can get a balloon pretty easily. And I can teach a lot of science through that. And so my role in South Africa was kind of, I don't say like maybe threefold. It was to come up with new curriculum for this science festival. It was to deliver the content. So actually doing the science demos and getting people like going into like the mall and doing science demos in all different places, and doing kind of like outreach tours where I was going to different schools across the coast, and then also training teachers. And so much like here, a lot of teachers there land in the science like teaching by default, like not that they are formally trained as teachers and or that they're formally trained as science teachers. And so I came up with a series of curriculum to teach teachers better ways to teach their subjects. And so just giving them kind of like full take and incorporate into their lesson plans so that their students can feel more engaged and that the teacher would feel more confident teaching. And so I spent 3 months from January through end of March, kind of developing curriculum, traveling literally the whole Eastern coast. And then at the end of it, the culmination, like the end product was this festival. And over that time frame, I delivered, I came up with, I think, almost like 10 new workshops for the festival itself. But we had over 65,000 people attend this festival. Yeah, it was a huge deal. And for many of the students that attended, that was their science class for the year. And so like to be able to impact so many students with not only like the new things that I added, but just like some of the enhancements that were also added to other existing curriculum, it really made a world of difference. And so I did that for, like I said, my 3-month stint. And then I've gone back twice since then, just to the first time check in. Like, so I also trained maybe like 6 or so workshop facilitators to be able to keep the workshops that I had brought to them going. And then, so I went back the next year to make sure they were still working well. And then I came back 2 years later and brought a whole new series of workshops with me to like teach people and they can incorporate it into their program. And then I was supposed to go back again in 2020, but then, you know, COVID happened. And so now we're here. But I did end up doing like virtual STEM engagement with them. And so my connections there reached out to me and they'd seen some of the stuff I was putting on like social media platforms of just like showing science demos and things. And they were like, hey, we see you're doing this. Would you be like a virtual program for us? And I was like, I mean, I haven't done it before, but why not? And so we kicked it off with like six or so workshops that I did virtually with them. And it was like mind blowing how well it went. And then since then I've been operating independent of them, but, you know, with my own company, running a series of just hands-on STEM-based workshops that people can participate from anywhere in the world. So it's been kind of cool to see how that, you know, initial touch point in South Africa has led to where I'm at today.